What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So we are going to talk about the whole Armon and Tisa Tells thing. So I'm actually happy that I got a chance to watch it because it wasn't as bad as I thought. But Armon has this problem, and we're going to go ahead and address it. Let's go ahead and play the intro, and then we'll get started. Y'all, why they still going around saying AT2 can't sing? They a whole bunch of haters. But what's up, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. Welcome to another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. What's up, Francesca? What's up, Foreign Bay? Nice to see all my members here, by the way. What's up, Samantha? We got Benita Applebaum said you got it going on. What's up, Tasha? You in the bushes? Come out the bushes, Tasha. What's wrong with you? What's up, Wisdom? What's up, Beautiful? Nice to see you, Beautiful. What's up, Adrian? What's up, Miss ATLian Stan? Thank you. What's up, Claudette? Who else we got here? I feel like I'm missing a few people. What's up, his only wife? Hey, I can be your next husband. I'll just it's all love. I like that, his only wife. You gotta let them know you are a married, committed woman. I like that. What's up, Stacy? How you doing? Shout out to you, Stacy. All right. So Armon did his video. He's back at home. He finally did like his wrap-up video. You know, all the content creators who went to the trial kind of all did their wrap-up video. He finally went ahead and did his wrap-up video, everything. And he was talking about the trial and how he was the one. He feels like he's the one who inspired everybody else to come to the courthouse. And I have to say, I have to give him credit because he didn't announce that he was going to the Diddy trial. He was just kind of there, right? Like all of a sudden he popped up. Like, did any of y'all know that Armon was going to the Diddy trial beforehand? Yes or no? Tell me in the chat. What's up, Cam? What's up, Yanni? What's up, Griffin? Yeah, I didn't know that he was going. He just kind of popped up. And shout out to him for doing that. Because I think that actually was very smart. Like, don't announce it, just pop up. I think the next court case, what I'll do if I'm gonna go, I'll just pop up or something like that, Winnie. I ain't gonna let them know. But again, that time has passed. I don't care about the Diddy trial. It is what it is, right? But anyway. So Armon, he was kind of like the one to kind of usher in all the content creators going. And then I think it really picked up steam when they saw, more people were starting to go. And then it became this big thing. So definitely, I do think he was one of the trendsetters in doing it. Now, one thing about that being is that, okay, because you were the first one and you kind of started the trend, everybody else is going to follow along. And then with that being said, that creates the competition and where it seems that people were really out to get you or they were doing their own thing. And I think more or less Armon, it seemed like everybody was cool with him for the most part. I know there was a few people that got into something with him, but I think for the most part, everybody seeing Armon is kind of like the leader of this. And then, of course, you can't say Armon without putting Tisa Tells in the conversation. And I think something that they mentioned also, Armon and Nicki at Night mentioned this, is that it's us, the people, that kind of make it a competition thing. But I don't think necessarily we, the people, made it a competition. I think it is what it is. Like, naturally, if you have two people that are gaining a lot of traction off of a topic, naturally they are kind of in competition with each other. and I hate to say like we're in competition, but at the end of the day, if you do celebrity gossip or you're talking about a certain topic, they look at you like, okay, well, who's number one, who's number two, who's number three? Like, not everybody can be number one. Unfortunately, that's the way it works, right? Now, amongst the content creators, you necessarily don't have to say, I'm number one or you're number one, but the people will choose who's number one, who's number two naturally, right? YouTube did that among the, yeah, exactly. I think HC2 is the only one that's not negative. You know what? Let me tell you, people were eating me up because I won't like just drag Tisa Tells. Like, the thing is, I'm only going to call Tisa Tells out on the things that I know. I wasn't there at the court case, so I can't go in and all that stuff. The only things I can call out are the things that I've seen. Like, y'all have heard me before. I called out Tisa Tells for saying the whole 2003, with the Jay-Z accuser. Come to find out that was a whole lie. But with the Jay-Z accuser, when she was doing that 2003, that's the only thing I can speak of. I can't speak of anything else, just to be fair. Armon, it's funny. Armon also did say something about him being the first to go on Nancy Grace, and he feels like he opened up the doors for other people to go on TV shows and stuff like that. Now, that one, I feel like that's a little stretch because I feel like either way, they would have recognized all the content creators there no matter what. But he can say he was the first one to go on Nancy Grace. You got to give him that. But I don't know if he was the one to usher in or open up the doors for the content creators to go on these different platforms and stuff like that. I think because there was so many different content creators there, and it was undeniable. Like, you couldn't be there and not see all the content creators, see all the views they were getting, seeing all the hype and excitement it was for the case, and then just ignore them. I feel like somebody would have ended up on TV. And fortunately for Armon, he was the one that was on TV. So was a lot of other people too as well. With ADHD. Y'all, I don't know if she got ADHD. I know she talked really fast and she's really excited, but I don't know if she got and mind y'all can say whatever. Listen, I don't know them personally, so yeah, have a free for all. Just don't be racist, sexist, homophobic, blah 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 blah. But yeah, y'all free to say whatever in my chat. I'm cool with that. All right. So anyway, with that being said, he talked about how the first 3 weeks Tisa didn't talk to him. And when I first heard that, I was kind of like, well, nigga, she don't owe you shit. Why would she talk to you? But when I had listened to it myself, I actually was all like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So basically, Tisa was kind of in her own world. And the way that he put it was like she was basically a go-getter. Like, she was out to, work. She was putting in that work. And that's what she was focused on. Because again, remember I told you, I didn't really see Tisa really, going out to eat or going to places. Like, she kind of just stayed on her own accord and, was just focused on the trial. She didn't really go out and I don't know shit. I don't even know if Tisa went out anywhere so to the courthouse and then her hotel or her Airbnb, wherever she was staying. I don't think Tisa went out, right? I think Tisa was just, she was focused on working. And you can't hate on that. Like, there's nothing you can say about that. She was working. She put in that work. Listen, can't be mad, can't hate on it. Like I said, like, Tisa knew that, okay, this trial is going on, right? What am I going to do after it? Let me leverage these relationships so I can go on these different platforms and come back, because even after the trial, she was on Nancy Grace's show. So she realized, like, okay, I need to extend this and make this something. And you can't be mad at that. It is what it is. Maybe other people should have been focused on, okay, I'm just there to work. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and then now you could say, oh, I don't like her tactics because she was lying and she did this. And Armon even spoke to that. He said, like, I think basically the way that she was passionate about something and she was so matter of fact, like this is going to happen. This is what it is. That's why people are like, okay, well, you lied about this and lied about that and da 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 da. And like I said, I think there's certain things that you can call out, like, for example, the whole doxing of Jane Doe. There was a lot of conversation about that. I kind of left that alone, even though I knew what the truth was about that. I left it alone because I was watching Mims, and Mims had said something. He was all like, hey, if you guys are like going around talking about this person said this person's name and stuff like that, they're going to be all like, we don't want no more content creators at the trial. So after that, I was all like, you know what? Even though people were trying to throw her under the bus, and then don't get me wrong, they were trying to throw other people under the bus too, saying that they doxed Jane Doe and all this stuff. And now that the trial's over, we know who it is, right? But knowing that, and when Mim said that, I was like, yeah, it's kind of sabotaging and screwing over everybody else. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. It is what it is. But she did say the name, but it was a lot. But what happened was that she then deleted it and then came back live again after she said it. So, you know, but again, for me, I probably would have slipped up a whole bunch of times. I ain't even going to lie. If I was at the trial and I seen Jane Doe, knowing that she is a somebody, I probably would have slipped up a whole bunch of times too. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not even mad at it. I probably would have slipped up too and said, you know, her name and shit like that. I mean, because it's clear as day who it was. At first, it was kind of like, oh, well, because, you know, the content creators are kind of confusing us because they were like, oh, you don't know who it is. Like, you have no clue. And it's all like, now, come on. We know. Come on, man. We know who it is. Rapper, baby daddy. And then, you know, and not just Jane Doe. She also, oh, somebody just put it in here too. Stacy, yeah, that was the Mia chick. Like somebody said, like, yeah, they sent her a super chat and she read the name off the super chat. But I don't feel like that. I feel like that one didn't disqualify her. And the reason being is because she was reading somebody's super chat. But she couldn't say, like, oh, no, I can't read that super chat because then that would confirm, yeah, this is the person. So I think she was going along with it just so that people didn't get suspicious of who it was. What's up, Nene? Suspicious of who the person was. So I think that's why she did that. But don't forget, DJ Academics was the one who actually exposed who Mia was. He put up her picture and everything and her position. And that was another thing too. They gave Mia's position, which you can look it up. If you look at who was ahead of Revolt and all this other stuff, her picture does come up. And so DJ Academics, who, you know, he doxed her. So that was kind of already out there before Tisa even read that super chat. I try to watch her, but her opinion is always only one. Yeah, and you know, and I feel like too, if you have no skin in the game, as far as like, I don't know these people personally, I feel like it's your duty to tell both sides of the story or give both opinion. Like, you can give your own opinion, but you got to stick to the facts. You got to stick to what is going on. It can't just be skewed in one way and then you don't tell the other side. Because let's be honest, Miss Kitty, if we were just watching her, we would think that Diddy was going to get charged with everything. If we just watched Tisa. And I think that's one of the things that she got in why she got so much backlash. Because if we just watched her, we would think that Diddy would have went down for the RICO, the sex trafficking and all that. But he didn't. But if you watch more perspectives, it was more like a, well, I don't know, it might look this way. I don't know if Jane was so convincing. Maybe with Cassie, he'll get charged with this. Like, you got more of an objective opinion when you watched other people. With Tisa, oh, you thought he was going down for life. What's up, VSOP? You said are very and that surprise witness are very biased. Yo, why are people still be in my comment section talking about that video? Like, you're saying that she's a racist and da 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 da. I don't give a damn. Like, that shit old, Yes, that's why I stopped watching Tisa. Okay, see. She became too emotionally invested. And let me say this, because I kind of go both. Ooh, did somebody send me some money? Hold on. Oh no, that was no money. I kind of go both ways with this because, okay, when we're talking about somebody being held against their will, somebody being, a domestic violence situation, and if you've been through that or somebody who's been through that, then you will feel bad for that person, right? No matter what. Because let's be honest, Cassie also wasn't perfect. So with that being said, you could see both sides. You can be objective to it. But if you have experienced DV or someone who has, then you'll feel passionately no matter what. And I think getting your own emotions wrapped into it was the issue. You should not have gotten your own emotions wrapped up in the trial like that if you're going to be a journalist or be an objective. Because once you took it personally like that, and I think you should take your work passionately, right? Like, I get on here and I have an opinion and I will be passionate about something, right? And when y'all talk about BJ, do y'all mean BJ investigates? Now, Stephanie, you about 2 weeks late. Don't piss me off. Yes, that's who we talking about. Where was you when all them Caucasians was coming after me? You're supposed to handle all the Caucasians, damn it. Anyway, all AT2, I'll bless your cash. Oh, thank you, Nini. I appreciate that. But anyway, when you get emotionally invested in the shit, this is what happens. And you should be passionate about what you do. I'm passionate about what I do. But I realize, like, AT2, you can't be too passionate because you're going to end up getting right. Like, I feel like, okay, I'll give a perfect example. When it comes to, like, the race stuff, like, I will be passionate about that because I am a black man. I have experienced racism, microaggressions, prejudice. I have experienced those things. So naturally, I'm going to have a biased opinion whenever it comes to it. Just like I told you guys, after this whole Diddy stuff, I realized that a lot of the others, right? We're gonna have a real conversation. We going real today, a real conversation. The others, when they talk about us, they seem real matter of fact and be able to bash us, criticize us, and be so strong-willed that we're evil, we're thugs, and everything else. But when we talk about they people, or when they talk about, no, not us, but when they talk about their own people, they don't be that passionate. Because those same people, I should see a billion bajillion Jeffrey Epstein videos. But I don't see them doing a billion bajillion Epstein videos. But when it came to Diddy, they did a billion bajillion Diddy videos. But Epstein, and just because he DEAD, don't mean you can't do no Epstein videos. Because there's a man in the White House right now who don't want to release the files. But when it comes to Diddy, they don't have no problem talking about Diddy. Or, Mike Jeffries, who actually was trafficking young male models and turning them out and making them do things and shit like that, promising careers, you know, they ain't passionate about that. But, you know, when it comes to the blacks, they passionate about that. And shout out to Stephanie. She said, why didn't you come get me? Cuz BJ is another saltine lawyer for whom I got nothing but smoke. Hell, I'm mad at you for leaving me out. Thank you, Stephanie. But yeah, that's the truth. Vince McMahon, yeah, another, you know, and it was hard for me, but I did talk about Vince McMahon too, you know. Vince McMahon is definitely a weirdo that needs to be talked about too. Why is Tisa posting about Diddy's escape plan from prison? I know this isn't true. Yeah, I still haven't watched that video. And I think for me, I'm gonna just be honest. If I see somebody's like video and I'm all like, I don't believe that shit, I won't watch it. Like, I will not watch it. And I think just for me, if I watch something that's going to trigger me and make me do a response, I'll just leave it alone. That's how I am. Because now, how did you get Diddy's escape route to come on, man? How did you get Diddy's escape route? Now, to be fair, I haven't seen the video, so I don't know exactly what it is. But now, how did you get his escape plan? Come on, man. That man ain't planning on escaping from. See, now y'all gonna get me talking. Y'all gonna get me started. See, I blame you, but I digress. You got me started. Look at you. I'm just kidding. It's all love. The Underground Railroad. Yeah. So anyway, you guys. So back to Armon. So Armon, he felt slighted by Tisa because he said Tisa was talking about him with Nancy Grace. And I'm all like, maybe he understood. I felt like Tisa was protecting him when it came to the whole baby oil and everything like that. Because Tisa was talking about the blue hair lady. Hold on, let me see if I can. Does Nancy Grace strike you, you guys? I don't know if she strikes people. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. Let me see. Dang, what episode was that? That was like a while ago. And you know what, too? I'll say this. Tisa definitely does her videos in the style of Nancy Grace. Dirty, Diddy is dirty and all that shit. Yeah, she definitely be putting extra stank on it. Okay, here we go. Uh,
and you have enough money and enough delusional fans, and you have ingrained yourself in culture enough that you can do whatever you
okay, I
want.
don't think
And
it's this
12
one.
of your peers will look the other way. Again, this jerk.
Okay, I don't think it's this one, you guys. Hold on. Dang, I thought I had the right video too. It all boils down to defense shock claims. I think it's Crybaby Diddy.
Or maybe these were some of the people that were worried about Diddy.
Dang, no, it's not this one. Because they were talking about the baby oil and oh, was it this show?
That lawyer. How dare he? He's got a wife, he's got a daughter, I believe. He's got sisters, a mother, talk like this. Violence is
Okay, I think it
violence.
might be
Trust
this
him.
one.
We have seen everything to the contrary, including this.
Formed a circle. It looked like a mosh pit of depravity. They were spraying baby oil on each other.
Okay, here we go.
jumping around.
Okay.
He was denied and is going to jail
Thank y'all for
right
your patience.
now
Please hit
as
that
we
like button,
speak.
y'all.
Joining me an all-star panel. Back to Tisa Tells joining us. She had to be escorted by armed guards out of the courthouse and leave the scene after she was
Y'all ain't
mobbed by Diddy fans. Explain to me what was happening outside the courthouse. I
Right, his
understand
peers.
that once the split verdict was announced, the Diddy followers, the Diddy worshipers went cray outside the courthouse, actually
Here we go.
dousing each other with baby oil and chanting.
They formed a circle. It looked like a mosh pit of depravity. They were spraying baby oil on each other, jumping around, feeling fantastic. One woman in a pair of Calvin Klein briefs and a bra started jumping up and down, wiggling while they sat there spraying baby oil on her, and the crowd was chanting, "Yay, yay, yay!" Go and hyping them up. It was a monstrous ball of depravity. When I say I was sickened, when I say I shook my head, and when I said, these are the peers. These are the jury of the peers. And it makes me wonder, as the jury goes home and they look at the television sets and they see what their decision cost and what was on the line. It makes me wonder, how can they sleep at night? It was absolute pandemonium. In between the jumping up and down with the baby oil, women willingly, baby oil being squirted on them, and everybody laughing and having a time like Christmas had just come.
So notice she was talking about the women. I think for me, I feel like she avoided saying Armon's name. Like, she talked about the lady with the blue wig or whatever, how she took off her wig and she was bouncing up and her titties was bouncing up and down. Remember that lady? She was talking about her. She never mentioned Armon's name, but I mean, I guess if you want to include that she was talking about everybody in a circle, then yeah, you know, Armon was a part of that circle, so yeah. But I feel personally like she avoided like pointing him out, because there was no way in hell that you could not talk about the baby oil. That's how I feel. We even talked about the baby oil, right? There was no way you could talk about the baby oil. I mean, there was no way you could avoid talking about the baby oil in general. I mean, it was on CNN. Daily Mail talked about it. The New York Post talked about it. Like, it was a news story. But she specifically did not say Armon's name. Let's continue.
Santa and the 12 perverted elves. What happened after that was even more amazing, because while that was going on, there were little fires everywhere of these bands of, I don't know if they're incels, if they're idiots, what was going on, looking for anybody they had ever saw make anti-Diddy content. And by anti-Diddy, according to them, it is pro-justice. They were going out their ways to make sure that everybody paid. And again,
yes, Foreign Bay. I felt that she was trying to bait Tisa into talking about Armon.
Said, this is what that jury cost us. It let us know. It sent a message. It's okay to be depraved. It's okay to beat women. It's okay to do drugs. It's okay to do whatever you want. And that jury, when they gave their verdict, signaled that. Again, I'm still coming to terms with how the jury got to this. Thank God this man was denied bail. Thank God.
Straight out to Sydney Sunray joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter on the case from the very beginning. Break down the counts for me, Sid.
Nancy, count one is that racketeering RICO conspiracy.
See, I felt like Tisa did point out the blue hair woman, but she was just talking about everybody as a whole. She wasn't talking about Armon. It wasn't until like the end of the show where, hold on, let me see. I want to say, I swear she played a clip of Armon. Didn't Nancy Grace play a clip of Armon being doused with baby oil? And she's like, see, there's Armon Wiggins. Okay, maybe they cut that part out. Okay. But anyway, it was Nancy Grace who actually mentioned Armon's name. Tisa never mentioned his name. I felt that she was trying to play it safe by talking about that other girl and not talking about Armon directly. She was playing it safe. And I think, and mind you, like I said, I was going to call Armon out for something. He was all like, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. Here's the thing about Armon, and you can take this video as an example. 82 with that. Armon will not like you just because you put his name in the title. The title could be Armon is the flyest YouTuber ever. Just because you said Armon, he'll say, oh, you hating on me. So like, no, I wasn't hating on you. And then you'd be like, did you watch it? No, I didn't watch it. I'm not watching that. Okay, well, if you didn't watch it, then how are you, like, what? How are you mad? So Armon is assuming that Tisa threw him under the bus and was, talking bad about him, but she honestly was trying to avoid saying his name. Nancy was the one asking about it. And so Armon's problem is that if you put his name in the title, he won't watch it. Or if you say, oh, somebody was talking about you, he won't go and confirm it. Like, it's important for you to confirm if somebody is talking about you, because now you're running with a narrative that this girl was talking about you, and she was literally trying to skirt around saying your name. 82 Armon always says he doesn't watch something just like Milagro, but they watch everything but themselves. Right, and we're going to talk about that Nicki situation too. But yeah, she absolutely what? So you feel like she was talking about, okay, let's do a poll. Okay, we're going to do a 30-second countdown real quick, y'all. Shut up. It's my show. I'm going to do a 30-second countdown every goddamn time I do a poll. Because I know y'all be watching the replay talking shit about he always doing countdowns. It's my show. All right, now that I done cussed y'all out, let's get to the point. No, say yes or no. Do you feel that Tisa Tells was throwing Armon under the bus? Do you think Tisa Tells was throwing Armon under the bus? Yes or no? Okay, I got more no's. See? What's up, Mount TV? What's up, Dazzle? Dazzle said, yeah. Okay, yes. She was going along with Nancy to get along. See, it was him with the oil. It was all shade, all the shade. Okay. I got more no's. Y'all be reaching. Okay. Yeah, I got more no's. I'm with the no's. I don't feel like she was. Like, I mean, to be honest, the baby oil situation was ridiculous. I mean, if Stephanie had took her ass out there being doused with baby oil and shit like that, and I think Stephanie actually does like baby oil. If Stephanie took her ass out there with baby oil, I would be like, now, Stephanie, why you done took your ass out there with the baby oil looking a goddamn fool? And even if my big ass was rolling in a blow up pool of oil and shit like that, rolling around with my fat ass, y'all would talk about me too, right? So I think that was a stretch. I think if he actually watched it, he would have been like, oh, okay, that's all she said. Okay, get it. I got it. But the fact that you didn't watch it yourself, like, that's the problem. You gotta watch it yourself. Because I don't feel like she was talking like in a whole about the whole situation. Like I said, yes, it was ridiculous. Now, was it a moment? Yes, it was a moment. It was, everybody got a laugh out of it. Everybody talked about it. But can I get somebody oil? Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. But yeah, all that. Naturally. I mean, here's the thing. Armon has tried to spin it like, okay, it was this, and it was a spur of the moment thing, and we get it, right? And like I said, I don't think he's going to be canceled for the rest of his life over the stupid baby oil thing, right? But if Armon didn't feel a certain kind of way about it, he wouldn't have issued a statement over it, right? If he didn't feel a certain kind of way about it, he wouldn't have issued a certain statement apologizing. If he was in the right, he wouldn't have issued an apology. Now, whether an apology was real or not is a question. But if he didn't feel that it was wrong or it was a bad look, he wouldn't have issued an apology. So with that being said, obviously there was something wrong with it. You also agreed, I don't know if somebody forced you, but you also agreed that there was something wrong with it too as well. He wanted to go viral over Diddy. Oh, wow. He isn't canceled. He will be fine. Yes. Yeah. The apology was PR. Y'all don't believe the apology. He wanted to go viral on Diddy, but he wanted to go more viral that ratchet and it backfired. Me either. It did cost him his work respect. Oh, that's a good one. Foreign Bay. Okay. Nicki told him he was a fool. Hey, let's get into it. Okay. Let's get into it. So he went live again and he was talking about Nicki. Usually I don't care when he talks about the like female rappers and stuff like that. But Nicki was in the news because she went off on SZA, right? Unprovoked, by the way, but she went off on SZA. So he had clicked onto her stationhead, and this wasn't the first time she did it. This was kind of like the second time I know. I remember the other time when she had Armon and Milagro both on her stationhead and she made a fool out of them. But this was also the second time she made a fool out of him. And maybe I don't get Nicki's sense of humor, but I feel like she was basically disrespecting him in front of his face, but he just thought it was so funny. And I'm all like, I don't think she was playing around. Like, the way that I got it, she was really like dragging him for looking a goddamn fool with the baby oil and shit like that. And maybe, if you a barb, you like when she talks down on you and she talks to you disrespectfully. But I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't want nobody disrespecting me or talking to me crazy. That's how I am. And I can't even say, oh, well, they have that playful banter. Like, how, like, when do they talk to each other where they have a playful banter like that? Like me and Stephanie, you always hear me go off on Stephanie. We got a relationship like that, right? But somebody who I don't have a relationship with, and they, like, it's the second time they embarrass me in front of everybody. Like, nah. Like, you never, like, pull me in and be like, yes, you doing your thing. You doing great. I'm happy for you. It's always, and then with Armon, he says like, oh, I don't care about, this and that. I'm working for myself. I'm not a barb. I'm not a Barty gang. I'm not this. But then as soon as they tweet him or they say something nice, he's reposting out like, oh my God, they just said my name. Like, so you do care about their approval. So it's all like, you do care about their approval. Like, you want to be down with them. Like, you want to be in these circles. And it's all like, if you don't care, you don't care. But as soon as, you get a call or something like that, or they tweet you, like, you back in their good graces again. Just for that recognition. And it's all like, you got to respect yourself. You have to. I didn't get that they had a playful banter. But again, I'm gonna do a 30-second countdown. Shut up. I'm gonna do my damn 30-second countdown. Do you feel that Nicki Minaj was being playful, or was she dragging him? Put it in the comment section. Both. Okay, that's fair. This is what I'll say, because I think this is what it is. This is more or less what it is. I think that she realizes no matter what I say, you're going to always come back, or you're going to always like, how do I put this? You know, when somebody can talk to you a certain way because they know they have power over you, that's how I feel. She knows that she has power over him and can talk and say whatever to him, and he's just gonna laugh like ha 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 ha, like it's okay. She knows she has that power over him. And like, not only celebrities do this, but people in your life. Like, I know there's a few people that, you know, felt they could do anything to me and I would be okay with it. And then I had to realize, like, oh, wait, no, you're not playing with me. You actually mean the shit that you're saying. So when I realized that, I was all like, okay, I definitely need to cut that relationship off and cut that person off and let them know you need to treat me the way that I want to be treated. Not the way you think I need to be treated, but the way I want to be treated. That's how you need to treat me. You cannot talk to me any kind of way. You can't disrespect me. You need to talk to me. Oh, thank you, Nene. I appreciate that. Thank you. You need to treat me like I'm an equal. Even if you don't feel like I'm your equal, you need to treat me like I'm your equal. But talking to me crazy and stuff like that, no, that's not going to fly. And especially if we don't have that kind of relationship, because let's not pretend like Nicki hasn't dragged Armon before too. So I wouldn't know if he was playing around or if you were telling the truth, you know? It'd be different if y'all grew up together and y'all were like homies and stuff like that, but she has dragged him as well too. Like, I don't know, y'all. Yeah, if y'all like it, I love it. I'll say that. Listen, she had our mom blocked at one point for talking about Mr. Petty. He is happy to engage with her. I don't get it though, but if he ever gets too upset, he will lose it. Right, Angie? Right. Listen, it's playful now. Then trust me, it's playful now. But then when she gets pissed off or he gets pissed off, it ain't gonna be playful no more. So I would just be careful with that. But hey, who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. But anyway, you guys, I do feel, going back to the initial topic, I do feel, what's up, Jackie? I do feel with Armon and Tisa, there's a place for both of them. I don't feel like it was you had to choose either one. Just like also too, Mims is definitely in the conversation too as well. Mims did his big one. So did Secret Service Sam. He was going viral on Instagram, TikTok, and all that. Emily, that the one lady that looked like Katy Perry, was going viral and stuff like that. Oh, you know what? Couture, because Couture, them bars be dragging Couture too. Now, Couture, she had to denounce that she was ever a barb. Like, that's how bad it got. They used to tear Couture up just because she would have an unfavorable opinion. And listen, just like MAGA, the barbs are a cult, I swear. Anyway, moving on from that. But yeah, there's so many different content creators that are in the conversation. Like, who did they big one, who killed it or whatnot. I think all in all, there's a space for everybody. And I'll say this too. The people who made it big did not make it big off of dragging and talking about other content creators. They just did the work. Right, Addicted, there's enough money for everybody. Yep. Enough money and space for everyone. The people who did the work really were there doing the work. And then the people there who was doing the foolery, or in terms I like to use sometimes, that niggatry, they didn't get too far. Or they might have went viral for the wrong reasons, right? And there's a perfect example of somebody who went viral for the wrong reasons. And now they barely have a platform on YouTube. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, you guys, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here. I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you. Love each and every one of y'all. But we out. Deuces.